This is a public service announcement. This is only a test. I know that's too cheesy. Anyway, what's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be starting not really starting, I'm going to be going through a repair process, or my attempt at a final repair on my Minidisc player. Hold on. It's a Sharp MD ST. Oh crap. 70. Minidisc player. Now, initially when I purchased it, I didn't really think it would work, and it probably had a corrosion issue with the battery. Actually, no, I didn't think that because in the pictures it showed the battery thing, and it looked perfectly fine. Now, the problem with it was not able to read discs, so I assumed, like most people who maybe buy CD player or whatever, that the lens was probably just a little foggy or something, and the person didn't know what to do, so we just left it as is. And so I paid maybe $2 for it, and I thought, no big deal. I'm not going to lose a lot of money. Turns out I bought it off a Japanese auction. And then if you don't know Japanese auctions, like, that shipping cost really racks up. And it's not like, when you buy off eBay, you end up paying, I don't know, maybe $3 shipping rather than free shipping, which, if you don't know, free shipping is actually just literally they take the cost and they actually merge the actual shipping with the product itself. But the point is that they actually, it goes through a secondary shipping provider, and what happens is it just really racks up in price. So I ended up paying around $24 to $30 for this one unit, and I didn't really want to let it go because I thought, I already paid for this. I'm getting this from Japan, and I mean, who doesn't like getting foreign packages? If you ever gotten a foreign package, it comes in a really cool box, and actually, let me show you this. Came in a Japanese box. There we are. Japanese box with lots and lots of these. Now, they're just catalogs, but it's just really cool to see all the newspapers that came with it. Anyway, I can talk about that for all day. Bottom line is, I bought the unit because it was broken. I thought, I might as well try to get my hands dirty with one unit and try to figure out the internals. And yes, I know I paid a little too much, but you know what? That's my loss. I'll learn that next time, and I thought if I pay for it and I make that mistake, I won't do that again knowing that this happened. Unless I really want that unit. Like, there was this Sony they had on sale for $1. Anyway, bottom line is, I already cracked into the unit because actually several times I resoldered some points, cleaned up some contacts, and tried to get everything looking as nice as possible. But unfortunately, no matter what I tried, it didn't work. But there actually is one more option that I actually had help from SJM. If you don't know him, he's like one of those really good YouTubers, like the Retro Future Tecmo, that makes shows reviews of old stuff or repair videos of old stuff and how you get your hands on it. He's doing, I think, high MD right now. I can't afford high MD, so I'm not gonna even go there. But I want to give thanks and shout out to him because he really did help me a lot in doing this. Anyway, I could talk about this all day. Let's get down to it. So, if we go down to where my unit is, right here, I'll just zoom up. I already divided it, not really divided, but it's now in 3. I want to make sure I don't get this lens in bad place here. It's divided into 3 different parts. There's the cabinet part right here, and this board. If I can get this in camera shot, that would be perfect. As you can see right here, the main fundamental issue with what we have right here is actually the lens. Now on the other side of this, if you don't obviously know, the lens is right here. And so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to adjust the actual, I don't want to call it azimuth because I don't think it's that. I'm going to try to alter the actual speed of the device. Actually, I'm also going to go in here. Hopefully I'm not breaking anything too big. And adjust the laser. If I break anything, it's all on me, I know. But, oh, I see, that's why it's there. You see, if you don't, actually I can kind of see the issue. If you can't see from the camera right now, I'm going to try to maybe defog this up. Right here, the actual prism that reflects off of it is a little bit fogged and a little scratched up, it seems. So I'm going to try to get into this without hitting that prism, because my goodness, if I hit that prism, I think I'm screwed. So let's cotton swab this. I really hope there's probably a lot more expensive ways of doing this that are a lot more secure, but listen, unfortunately, to all those who are watching, I'm not rich. My parents are middle class, and I shouldn't talk about that. It's kind of stuff you shouldn't. But the point is that I don't have the money to afford getting a bunch of expensive equipment to do this, so everything is a risk. And you know what I gotta say to that is that risks are vital to life in a way. That's what you see with businesses. And you don't have risk, you don't have product. I'm going to do a different cotton swab because I feel if I do any small, even the smallest speck of like dust, if that gets in here, it probably is going to screw up the whole unit. What I do is I usually dip it over, and then as you can see, it's pretty wet. And I'm going to go in I was actually intentionally expecting there to be like a screw right here, so that if I was to actually get into this unit, that it would prevent me from actually hitting anything. Seems that there's not. Seems to be a little dust. It's funny. It seems like someone may thinks there actually was a person before me who got into this before me, because it seems pretty clean in here, as if, like, even on the parts that, if you look on this end, seems like the parts are really, clean. It doesn't seem like a lot of dust got into here. Perhaps they got a little lazy around, like, they got here, because I'm looking right here where there's some parts I can clearly see that nobody has actually taken the time to remove. But anyway, after that, just for precautions and for all I know, I don't want to reopen this unit, because I'm telling you, with all these screws and hectic little pieces around here, it's pretty hard to get back together. I'm going to I don't know, make sure that the motor, I'm going to make sure that the motor first is, I can't see right here, is this secure? Because I tried opening up the unit and playing back a Minidisc. I have my album right here, Chill Shit Volume 1. Yeah, no, it's just Chill Shit album. Oh, so it must have been partying out there. And I tested that into the unit, and it seemed like the spindle wasn't really going properly. So just so all these sides are maintained, perhaps they're screwed in a little too tightly. So I'm gonna first tighten these all so they're at an equilibrium point. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't care. And then just do a little knob right there. Knob right there. Knob right there. And all that is good and secure. Look back at my lens, see if it's good. It seems a little still fogged. As I would say, that's a little fogged up. Sorry for the bad puns, I'm just a punster by very nature. Thanks, I'll be here. Not every week, but some days. Ah, crap. I have to grab something to get this. I'm just gonna. See, I have tweezers, but. Yeah, there's no screw right there. I feel like a bump or something. I'm going to reapply the isotope one more time because I'm a little cautious and I still really do not want to get into this unit again. If I don't get this fixed, I'm probably going to sell it off to someone else who knows this better than me. Or if not, sell it on eBay again. And whoever buys it on eBay, I really hope they, they take care of this unit better than I did. We use some expensive equipment to restore this because this poor little guy needed a home, and whoever used it last probably loved it to death and used it a little too much. To be honest, I use my Minidisc player a little too much. I could see where that happens, but at the same time. So after that, when I talked to SJM, he told me that either right here or right here is the actual laser enhancer or something like that. I'm not a nerd, so I'm going to assume it's that one, because that one seems a little closer to the actual lens and all that than anything else. And then over here, just in case, you never know, just going to loosen that a bit. Now, that's all good and great, and perhaps the unit will work. Before I close this up, and you're going to see the unit power on by the end of this, and let me tell you, it's a pretty cool power on. If you ever had an iDog as a kid, it's kind of like that, but on more of a minimalistic scale. Honestly, what I do want to see is the unit working, and when the unit works, I've never actually seen a functioning unit before because there's actually no YouTube videos on what this looks like or how it should look. So anyway, I could ramble on all day about that. Anyway, if we go to the front of this unit, right here you can see there's a line trace right there, and that actually is for this tape right here. This is the difficult part, as the tape is already a little bit torn, and I'm slightly worried that it's lost its stick. If you don't already know, right here, I actually lost a stick of that. and STICK. For people who are grammar Nazis. Anyway, I got that down. And next is to apply, where is it? Oh, crap. To apply the big metal guy. Giant metal man. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, well, not really kidding. That is my favorite movie. I would never misquote that. I'd put the bar right here. In all honesty, I really don't know what this bar is for. Maybe for those who want to go clubbing with their homies and stuff like that. I do want to say it's honestly a little bit difficult to screw in. And you know what? That I gotta give people props when they work hard on actually making it secure. You know what? Keeps dum-dums' hands out of it. And there's some really stupid people, but at the same time, there's really smart people. So that's why I can appreciate when someone sometimes makes it hard to get into a unit. But at the same time, I'm a little pissed. You know why? Because some people actually want to get into the unit. So I gotta say, a good way most people seem to regulate that is by actually adding a service manual. And if you see with older Sony products, pre 2006 or post 2006, I don't know. After that, it just really went downhill in terms of actual security of, or not security, but like reliability and maintenance. And personal maintenance, if you want to find personal maintenance on most of these units, it's pretty freaking simple if you have a Sony. But if you have like a Sharp or something, the problem with that is that they actually don't really provide as much manuals. I actually had a cassette Walkman of a Panasonic I used basically every day. Well, not every day, but every day I wanted to bring a speaker, but I didn't want to bring my Beats pill. I bring that, basically be everything built in. To be honest, that's honestly what I wanted. Now this is where it gets a little hard, and this is where I kind of had trouble. If you look right here, I actually thought this was kind of odd, and I originally thought this was soldered in. If you look right here on the board, I'm going to say motherboard because I'm lazy and I really don't know what this is. Oh, it's still not in the camera. If you look right here, it's a little foggy still. And let's also clean up the contact for the motor. I say if nothing's clean, then nothing's gained. If you look right around this area, right here, I originally thought this was actually a soldering point for the actual motor, which is located right here. But in fact, it's actually some sort of chip that actually comes out in a certain way where it looks like it's actually a chip, but it's actually a holder for the motor. So I don't know what to call it. And unfortunately, the D-bag who made this unit didn't make a service manual for it, despite its well done complexity. This is the hardest part, because you see, what you gotta do is you gotta have it perfectly angled so you can get that this little ribbon thing here in there. I swear, if I was able to desolder this, which I'm not able to because I have a high lack of skill in that area, I would desolder this in an instant and do it, but I don't know how to solder that well. I only know how to reflow a bit and do simple points. Anyway. Actually, I'm going to get back to you guys. I'm going to grab my my tweezers, which are in the case that's actually holding my camera up right now. But I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so I'm back, and I got my plier, which I initially did not think I'd need, but unfortunately I didn't really think of the repercussions when I first did this, that I'd actually need to be able to get these pins back in properly. And actually, in fact, I might not need this. Tommy, stop lying to yourself. Now, as you can see, I might have gotten it. I'm gonna use my camera on my BlackBerry to check it out. See if I got it in there properly. And if you have an old BlackBerry, I would recommend you get use that as a flashlight because it's a pretty bright light. And you know, it's not bad to reuse your old stuff to provide our uses sometimes. And it's not even close to in there. If you can see from this, I'm going to try to get this in camera shot right in between here where it should be. If you're looking, if I can get this properly adjusted. Okay, it's the wrong way. Here. If you're looking in here, like this way, the unit isn't really, the pins you can see are sticking out around there, and that's really not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and knock this in. This is pretty dang difficult. I would recommend you, if you ever do get this unit, and you know how to desolder, desolder these 3 points right here first, and then open it up. I can't do that right now because it's too late. No turning back. The war zone is here. Yeah. So let's try and get this in. Now, if this is a boring video, I recommend you fast forward. I really hope that YouTube shows you the whole thing so you know what you're doing. Or you know what you're seeing. Because nothing, there's, like, I'm sure mostly agree. There's nothing worse than watching a YouTube video and they don't show you what's next. Ah, crap. Heard a little click. I feel like it's a success. I'll have to check. Ah, damn it. You can see the unit. It's being a posh bitch. And how do you treat that? You treat it like it is. It's an asshole. So what do? You force it in. Ugh, this is so difficult. I really recommend you well, might as well test out the motor and see if that's good enough, because I'm going to be lazy temporarily. And I want to just at least see that what I'm doing is the right thing. And how you do that, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple, my friend. What you do is if you are at least affordable enough to buy a gumstick battery, as you see here, you're going to put it in at its correct points, located right around here. If I can look at the diagram, yeah, that's correct. And then what you're going to want to do is turn it over to the other side, remove the front panel if you know which way your unit is going, and then try to get it to be less stubborn. Push down on the button over here. And the motor's running, so that's a good sign. That's working. Alright, now that the motor, I know for certain that this isn't gonna short out on me, or that it's a little too bad right now. I'm going to screw in all the parts, and hopefully this is up and running. And here, I'm going to go through this and you can see just how to put this back together. Now, this took me a little bit of thought, and if I go through a unit, and this is my recommendation, you don't have to follow my recommendation, but I go through and go slowly and try to see which screws are connected to what. Some people just like removing all the screws and seeing what happens, and I recommend that's not the best option, because sometimes what you'll do by doing that is actually remove important or vital parts to the actual unit itself. And then when you're putting it back together, always cross-reference the outer case, because sometimes what can happen, and I don't know how often this actually occurs in real life, but what can happen is the case may actually interfere with connection problems. So if you can see here, I cannot put a screw on that side, up here, right here, here, and here. So what I'm going to analyze from that is where, because there is one side screw, if I can remember, that is not on. Okay, yeah, it's right there. So what I'm going to want to do is find that screw. If I don't, I'm screwed. Play on words, haha. You can laugh if you want to. This is serious-ish, but not so serious that you have to be like, why so serious? Whatever. I don't know what you kids do these days. I'm a kid. Call me a hypocrite, I guess. Let's get this back. Crap. As you can see, my screw being a posh bitch and not going in correctly. I like that. It sounds, when I say posh, it sounds very sophisticatedly. Oh, sophisticatedly, and I dropped a screw at the same time. I guess that's bad luck for me, or I just suck at this stuff. I'll put that in there. One problem with dollar store screws. They might be good if you're fixing a head of a tape, because you see, a head of tapes, if you put magnets next to them, it's like putting a shark next to a pile of meat and a human. It's going to eat the pile of meat, and then it's going to eat the human. And that would be likewise to this, that magnet's not going to let it go in. Therefore, you're going to end up doing this for about 2, 3, maybe 4, perhaps an hour. I don't know. Depends on how small your screw is or how small the hole is on the screw, because holy cow, some screws can actually be very, very annoying. So I finally get in the hole. Screw that in. It gets all screwy before you knew it. Yes, I'm singing the now thinking of that Weird Al song. Let me tell you, if you didn't grow up on Weird Al, look up his videos. He's pretty funny, comedic pop singer. Alright, that's all good. Now, you might think, okay, that's it. Now, you're wrong, because there is a crap load more you gotta do. This is probably the most annoying part, and I do recommend you be a little careful, because if you're gonna do this, do not bend it back like that. I highly recommend what you're first gonna want to do, well, before anything, is find the screw you were gonna use. In my case, it's right here. And then what you're going to want to do is screw it in. Screw what you got to do. I'm thinking that Sugar by, if you don't know who I'm thinking about, it's pretty cool too. His name is Mango Fish Trap, or I like to call Mango Fish Trap, because his name rhymes a lot with stupid stuff, and it's pretty cool. Somebody told me one time, baby, don't try too hard, you never make it anyway. Yo. Or I could sing that all day. Anyway, next part. Oh, I do recommend you also do this last, because this is the hardest part of the whole unit. You're going to want to put in this. Now this is important, because what this does is this is the support for the actual Minidisc itself. So as you see, my Minidisc disc fits in here perfectly. this is going to want to go. And I didn't know this from service manuals, again, because Sharp is a jerk, and they don't provide service manuals like Sony does. And so you're kind of left on your own thought. But luckily, with this teardown and the fact that I got a broken unit, there's nothing really lost except for a couple tens of dollars. Unless, you know, that's like nothing to you. You're like Bill Gates, and $1 on the street is like, no, a penny on the street, I think it is. It's not worth your time. So what you're going to want to do on this end is you're going to want to put this, see how this little pin on, if my hand's correct, on here is kind of latching on. You're going to want that right there. And then what you're going to want to do is try to align this. Now, this is kind of difficult for my first timers because, you know, you might think, oh, right here, but the actual way it's supposed to be oriented is, get this. Don't worry, it's a little difficult first time. I'm not gonna get mad or whatever. Well, probably is against YouTube's policy violations anyway. Not that I would get mad, I'm just saying. That goes right there. As you can see, the point is actually a little above, but this in between perfectly fits. It's kind of like a puzzle. And then what you're going to want to do is push down a little and make sure this snaps in, or doesn't snap in, but let's go to the other side. I want to do a flat head. And now the unit is somewhat secure, needs a little bit more effort, but now what you're going to want to do, and this is the home stretch here, is you're going to want to screw it in. And that's in now for the final screw on this end, and it should be able to get in. My heart almost dropped because I almost thought that the screw went through the entire unit. I'd have to pick it out of this part right here. That would kill me because probably my worst favorite thing about doing these units is their screws. Because let me tell you, if you're working on Minidisc, These screws can be very, very small. Anyway, now for the final step, I want to take this part right here and put it over this is where it gets quite simple. What I did is I laid out my screws in the pattern in which I put them in. Because, see, what's odd about these units is I think that some of the screws are a little bigger than ours. So if we start with the first ones, top one's right here. Let's screw it back on. Now, what I do recommend also is always put that in last right here. You don't want to have a broken unit. Actually, there's a new one I want to get from buyee if this one does not work properly, and it's I think it's a JVC Victor. You might be thinking, Victor? You mean RCA Victor? Ha! No! I'm talking about JVC Victor, which is actually a completely different thing. It still uses the same logo, though, which is kind of odd. Maybe they're doing it as some sort of tribute to the original audio format. I don't know. And they've been around for quite a while, actually. Did I do something wrong here? No. I'm going to stop ranting about that. But anyway, I saw it online. It just had a little... Seemed like the problem the user, or whoever was using it previously, was having... Oh, crap. One thing I forgot. Oh, one other thing. And this is what I actually forgot. This piece right here, if you really do care, and it doesn't matter that much because this is actually just for this portion right here, you're going to want this on there. That actually keeps this from... It's like a ground, I think. Because it's not really connected to anything or anything like that. So it's not completely necessary, but it is quite necessary. Seems like it's interesting. Now, what I do think would be a cool invention these days for these old units is that if they were able to convert these connectors right here to work universally with maybe per se like Apple earbuds or stuff like that with remote controls inline. But I really don't see that because unfortunately these don't really have that much of a following. Yes, they have Minidisc global form and all that, but honestly don't have much support from them. Anyway, next what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your piece right here, and it's going to slide right in right there real easily. There's a little point right there where it kind of makes a sliding function, so don't try to push it in, like shove it in like that, because that's just going to break the point, and then it's just going to be a little hectic and kind of hard to put on. And that point is really good because it actually keeps it in. Anyway, let's get down to business because I want to see this work, and I'm sure you all want to see this hopefully work as well. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to do a giveaway because I don't have the money for that, and I want to grab a new MD unit that may actually work. odd. Guess maybe I did get the wrong screw. Let me make sure all the points are in. Maybe it's the order in which I put the screws in. That's kind of odd, but I guess it's the case. The screws are in. Check the other side. There we go. 2 more screws and it will be in. I guess some may say it's stupid. I don't care. That's in. Alright, I guess that did work. So now the last part to do is to actually put the thing right here back on. And it's all good. So now to actually test the audio, because this is what we've all been waiting for. I'm going to grab a pair of headphones. Have my Minidisc right here, or as they say in Japan, Minidisc. Battery will go in this way. Oh, and if you're wondering what the color is like, this is a cool part. Personally, what I enjoy. And while that's going around, I'm going to grab my decent pair of headphones and test this out. All I need to do is hear the beeps. I already know it works, so that's all I need to know. Honestly, these are actually better because this one also I have to sell because unfortunately I tried resoldering points and isopropyling it and it failed on me. So, without further ado, let's check this baby out and make sure it will play. is something. Fortunately, I think I might have received a dud. And there's nothing I could do. Mere desperation. I might as well just try cleaning the lens one more time. Oh, guess it didn't actually chomp down the disc. I guess I forgot about something. Might as well at least just see if it runs the disc. That's the problem. Well, this is dead. I'm just going to put it to my ear to confirm my and I guess some might say I've been punked. Anyway, I'm very sorry about making you wait for a very long time seeing all this stuff. In that case, it's your fault because you could have actually fast forwarded through all this, just seen the end result. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you at least like seeing what a ST70 from Japan looks like in real life, thank you. And have a wonderful day. And hopefully I can fix some other units, and whoever gets this unit when they buy it knows what to do and can actually repair it. Alright. Adios.